Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all my honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Double honors to my apostle, elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And peace and blessing to you brothers out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom. This is brother Amawan from the GMS Charlotte camp. And I want to just go into, we had at the camp this past weekend, we had a topic we were going into pretty much how, Esau is how you push this you only live once doctrine, where he believes that, you just live once and then your spirit just totally dies and, your very spirit vanishes and then you're no more. That doctrine, that YOLO doctrine that's been pushed on our people, it goes back to the so-called white man, and when we was bringing it out, I was dwelling on that, and it was some precepts that I was thinking of that could have been brought out to help, further that point of, where that came from and how Esau has used that to have our people thinking like that, because our people didn't always used to think like that. So, I just want to I'm gonna bring out the scripture that we brought out at camp, and I'm gonna just add a couple precepts to it, and I'm gonna just go from there. So, Lord willing, this be edifying. So I'm gonna go start in the Wisdom of Solomon and the Apocrypha. I'm gonna just start at the top. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1, which reads, "For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any known man to have returned from the grave." Right. So there's Esau. No, he believed that since our lives are short, the lifespan of a man nowadays is very long, man. So that's why they push this, do as thou wilt, because you don't live more than once, man. So once your spirit goes, then you're nothing. All right. So and then they know that there's no coming back from death, man. Okay. And so it says that since our lives are short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any known man to have returned from the grave. Which, they don't truly believe that Yahweh rose from the dead, man. Like these Christians, they try to push in church, mainly on Easter, where they try to say that Jesus died on the he died and rose on the third day. I think that's what they said. Which, first and foremost, his name is Jesus, is Yahweh. But Yahweh did arise from the dead, man, through the spirit of Yahweh. And he got beamed up back into the heavens, man. And he got beamed up by the chariot, and he's back in the spirit world with Yahweh, man. But Esau doesn't believe that because there's no tangible evidence, i.e., there's no corpse that they could find to prove that he existed, man. That's why you have all these documentaries that they'll put on like the History Channel, where it's like, was Jesus real? And try to debunk these myths that try to prove that was he living or not, man. Okay, because they don't truly believe that no man once he's dead, rose again, which the scripture clearly told you that he did. But they also don't believe that it's an afterlife. There's no that your spirit lives on, man. They don't believe in that because they're carnal. They have no ounce of spirituality in them, so they can't grasp the fact that there's a spirit world, man, that your spirit goes to once you die, man. Okay. It says, "We are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the movement of our heart." Right? It says that they want, like, pretty much once your body gives up the spirit, then you disappear into nothing, like your spirit was never here, man. When that's totally off, man, because Yahweh Bashim Shah didn't then he didn't make it for this that to be like that, man. Is he calls the spirits back to be with him in the spirit world, okay? But Esau doesn't believe in that, man. Verse 3 proves that. It says, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. So I truly believe that once you go, that's just it. There's no more of your existence, and that you cease to exist pretty much when the scriptures contradict that, man. All right, and I'm gonna get that to prove that. This is Ecclesiastes. So I can get to it. Ecclesiastes 3:20, which reads, "All go into one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again." Because that's that's you're talking about your earthly vessel, man, your body. Because contrary to what these devils try to tell you, man, that you have a spirit inside of you. That is your real essence. That's your real being, man. This flesh is just a vessel for your spirit to dwell in while you're on this planet, man. But once your spirit gets called back and leaves this flesh, then this vessel just goes back into the ground and decomposes and pretty much turns back into dust, man. Cause that's really what this is, man. Because you are not, this flesh is not you. You have a spirit, man. So I'm gonna get that just to further land back on that, man. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 15:40, which reads, it says, there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. And the celestial is talking about your spirit, and the terrestrial bodies is talking about your flesh, man. It says, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. So, it's certain things that your spirit that doesn't need to do that your flesh needs, man. Like our spirits don't need to eat, they don't need to sleep, they don't need to have sex, but that's what you have the earthly vessels for, man. To eat, drink, and all that, do all the things like that, because while you are on this planet, that's what your vessel requires, man, for you to be able to do the function that you need to do, man. But going back to Ecclesiastes, once your spirit leaves your body, it goes back up to the spiritual world and to be with Yahweh. And I'm going to read that. This is verse 21. It says, who knoweth the spirit of a man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth. So once your spirit leaves this flesh, the flesh goes back into the ground, and eventually, through decomposition, turns back into the earth where it came from. Because we all know we come from Adam, which Adam in the Hebrew means the earth. So that's where the flesh belongs, back in the earth, and your spirit belongs back in the spirit world where it belongs, man. With Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, man. It says it goes upward, and the spirit of the beast goes downward to the earth. So everything on this planet has spirits, man. The animals have spirits too. So when the animals, when they die, their spirit says they goes downward. So as soon as they die, they're right back in another vessel, and they're doing whatever duty that the Lord created them to do, man. So it shows you that everything has life. Everything has a spirit, man. All right. Going back into Wisdom of Solomon, it reads, so I can get back to it. Verse 4, it says, sorry, I'm going to go back to 3. It says, with being extinguished, our body shall be turned to ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. We just proved that that's not true, right? And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance Our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. So that's why Esau does the things he does, like, names lands after himself. He named when he goes and conquers a land, he names them after himself. Right? He makes statues of monuments of himself. He makes it makes it to where he wants to be remembered, because they truly believe that once they're gone, man. That your spirit just vanishes in the thin air, and they're no longer a being. Okay, and it shows you that's why they do that, man. Because that's the nature of Esau, because Esau was carnal. All right, Esau was a carnal man. And I'm gonna get the scripture to back up that characteristic I just read to show you who that is, man. All right, this is Psalms 49. 49 and 11, which reads, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and the dwelling place to all generations." And this is the point. And it says, They shall call their lands after their own names." And that's just what I read in Wisdom of Solomon, because that's exactly what they do. They conquer lands and name them after their own. Because, for examples, that's why you have America, which that wasn't the name that the Lord gave this land, man. No, this land became America when they got conquered by Amerigo Vespucci. All right, so you got the land of Africa, which was originally known as the land of Ham, got conquered by another Edomite named Leo Scipio Africanus, man. All right, the land of Asia was conquered by his little brother. I believe his name was Leo Scipio Asiaticus, I believe. And so that's how you know that these devils, with the fear of not being remembered, that's why they go and name these lands after themselves. They put themselves in the history books as everybody that you see, man. They're, according to Esau, they're everybody, man. They're the so-called Egyptians. They say that they're us. They say that they're the everybody in history, man. The Philistines, Salakia. All you gotta do is just go look up history. They think they're the angels. They think they're the Most High. They think they're everybody, because they have that need for wanting to be remembered, man. Because they think that they are the greatest race on the planet. All right, but with that fear of withering away, their spirit vanishing, so they think that's why they do the things they do, man. All right, verse 5. "For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again." So they don't believe that once you die, that you're not reincarnated back into this earth. After your third and fourth generation, man. All right, they don't believe in that, because they're once again, they're carnal men. They're a carnal race of people, man. Their nation wasn't given to be spiritual, man. Okay, and I'm gonna get that to prove that. This is second Ezra 14 and 35, which reads, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the godly shall be declared." Because when your spirit goes back into the spirit world, and you're put in the judgment seat in front of your house, you have a judgment that's being given to you before you come back down on this planet, man. Because all the earth is a place to serve out your judgment, man. That's all this place is for. For the Israelites to enjoy themselves, but also for them to serve out their judgment, whether it be good or bad, man. Okay? So it says, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, And that's the point, because your spirit dwells in the spirit world for a certain amount of time before, with Yahweh, all spirits, man. Like I said, Ecclesiastes. So it says they live up, they stay up there for whatever, how many time, for that third and fourth generation, and then they come back and serve out the judgment. But they're being judged. It says for the name. It says, and then the names of the righteous shall be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. So they're before Yahweh Shemal Shah, and they're being judged for whatever deeds that they did, whether it be wicked or good, man. I quoted it, so I might as well pull that too. This is First Corinthians. First Corinthians 15 and 40. It's like not 15, 40. 5. It's like 5 and 10. Second Corinthians 5 and 10, which reads, for we all must appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua, for everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. So, everybody has to go before the judgment seat of the Lord and give an account for the deeds they did while they was on this planet, man. That's why Esau has pretty much made it to where they have our people not believing that there's a afterlife, man. That's why they push that you only live once doctrine, because they don't want our people to realize the wickedness they're doing, because they know that our people that we believed in reincarnation at one point in time, but to keep us destroyed like this, that's why they just push just get it how you live, that do as thou wilt, and you just be your own God, and you do all this and that, because they don't want our people to realize that they're doing wickedly, man, and that they're going to be judged for it in that day, because these elites, they have all these obstacles for our people to go off, and they go and try to talk to the Most High, and pretty much tell us, like, look what your people doing, man, because they know that our people are spiritual, but they don't believe that, though. They don't believe in being spiritual. That's why they do the wicked things they do, man. And I'm gonna continue on the wisdom of Solomon. Verse 6 says, come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in the youth, and let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. And that's why Esau does that do as thou wilt, man. Because they don't think it's a consequence for them to for the actions that they do on the earth, man. That's why they just use the earth up to the brink of the earth being pretty much destroyed, like we see now, man. So they just do whatever they please, man. That's why they go and hunt and hunt to the point where animals are on the brink of extinction. They go and steal these different things from out the different lands. The oils, the wines, the certain plants, the oil, everything that Esau takes, man, because they just think there's no consequence for the things they do. But the Lord tells you that you're gonna have to take an account for all your actions when you go in front of that judgment seat, man. All men go back to the spirit world, man. Your Hitlers, your Ted Bundys, your Jack the Rippers, all the most wickedest men that you ever hear stories about, they all went in front of the judgment seat of Yahweh Shema Shah. They all went to heaven, right? They all had to give an account for the deeds they did, man. So there's no such thing as you just vanish off in the thin air, man. And our people at one point in time actually they remembered that we lived more than once, man. They knew about reincarnation because that's in the scriptures, man. They knew about these things, man. But it's just nowadays, we're so destroyed as a people that they just took on the philosophies of Esau to a T, man. I'm gonna get a couple accounts to prove to you that our people believed in reincarnation, up until coming into this captivity, man. All right, I'm gonna start out in this first account when Yahushua he had healed a man that was born blind. And I'm gonna show you what our people said to show you that our people believed in reincarnation. This is John chapter 9 verse 1, and it reads, "And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Right. So our people they knew about reincarnation because they asked Yahushua when he seen him, because the scripture said that the man was born blind. It says, and the disciples asked him, say, Master, did this man sin, or was his parents, that he was born blind? And Yahushua told him. And Yahushua told him, he said, neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but the works of Yahweh should be made manifest in him. Right. So it said that, if he sinned, it would have to be from a past life, man, because if he was born blind, there would be no action that he could have did on this earth because he was born like that. So that showed you that they knew that it was consequences that you had that you did in your past life to have a judgment like that, man. But just in this man's particular case, man, he was made blind so that Yahushua could show the people the miracle that he was going to do with the blind man, which was giving his sight back, man. Okay, so that's just one example, and I'm gonna get one more before I close it out. This is Matthew's 16. Right, let me get to it. Matthew 16 and 13, which reads, when Yahushua came unto the coast of Caesarea Philippia, he asked his disciples, saying, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Right? Yahushua asked his disciples, who do the people say I am, man? Because our people knew about the reincarnation, so they knew that the prophecy of the Savior coming back, the Messiah coming back. So Yahushua, he was asking them, like, who do men say I am, man? And I'm going to tell you what the disciples said, verse 14. And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some say Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. So that shows you that our people knew about reincarnation, because when Yahushua was on the scene, all these all these prophets that they named, they was no longer living, man. So that showed you that they believed in reincarnation, because they knew that at some point in time that your spirit comes back on this planet, after you die, man. Okay, so that just shows you that our people at one point in time believed in reincarnation. That's why, us being the men of the Lord, we gotta bring these topics back out. We gotta show you that this isn't nothing new. We gotta dispel the rumors of what the so-called white man has filled the earth with, man. These lies, man. We gotta bring these lies down, man, because this YOLO doctrine has our people in a delusional state to where he has them doing insane amounts of wickedness to please themselves, to get to the point in life they want to be, and not having them think about the consequences of their actions, man. All right. So Lord willing, that was edifying. Proving to you that reincarnation is scriptural, and that you only live once. BS, man. is a false dogma given to you by the so-called white man. Okay. So with that, I want to give all my honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Double honor to my apostle elders of great millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And salutations to the elect, man. Shalom.